We're here at Sun and Fun 2025 in Lakeland, Florida, and it wouldn't be a Sun and Fun without a stop over to see Mike Jones at Mike Jones Aircraft. How many years you've been here at the show, Mike?
Oh, this is going on about 15 years at the show. I think you actually did my first interview, surprised me, and came right over here and you interviewed on aircraft in 2012.
Yeah, so anybody that doesn't know what Mike Jones does, he invented the Lock&Key Navajo, and it's a complete aircraft refurbishment. Makes the Navajo and some other airplanes, including the Lock&Key Baron, better than they were when they were new. So we thought we'd catch up with you, Mike, and talk a little bit about the refurbishment market and maintenance in general, because you don't just do Lock&Key refurbishments. Thought we'd talk a little bit about what you're seeing there in the world of aging airplanes. You're very particular about how aircraft are maintained, and these Navajos and some of the other Lock&Key projects you've done are proof of just that. So we thought we'd catch up with you and talk a little bit about the refurbishment and maintenance market.
Hey Larry, we're coming out of a booming market right now. It's kind of on a stabilized market right now. Best piece of advice I can give anybody buying an aircraft: take your aircraft to a qualified maintenance shop that knows that product. We don't know every aircraft, and there's a lot of aircraft that you need to take it somewhere else. But you need to have a very detailed evaluation of aircraft before you buy it. For instance, I had a customer the other day that that wanted to do business with us, and the seller of the aircraft would not allow the aircraft to come to us for evaluation. Well, he bought the aircraft. He still wanted to come to us for an annual. Well, he had to pay for it. He would have walked away from this aircraft if it had evaluation from us. It's a great aircraft right now, but he had to pay for it. You don't want to get stung on the front end. And most aircraft are decent aircraft. You just need to get a real selective shop that really knows what they're doing before you pull the trigger on it. Right now, we got 14 mechanics. We got 3 avionics guys in the shop. We got a brand new $4.5 million beautiful hangar facility. And when people come to us for maintenance, we actually try to run the customer off, because we're a company. If we can't fix the problem, not the symptom, we don't want to work on it. We want to go to the root of the problem. You can put a Band-Aid on a sore, but what caused the sore? And you can put a Band-Aid on fixing aircraft, and you didn't really get to the root problem. Well, for instance, when we do maintenance on aircraft, for instance, a landing gear issue. Well, why do people have nose gear collapses? Why do people have gear problems all the time? You can get away with these problems maybe for a lifetime. You might fly your airplane for 20 or 30 years and you're happy as a lark. But when it comes to our shop, if we find airworthy issues, we've got to address it. For instance, we find out that the bolts and bushings in the landing gear are out of tolerance. They've never been touched the entire time, 30, 40 years on aircraft. We found out the side braces or drag links are out of tolerance. And if you still come after we try to run you out of the shop, you're the customer who really wants to find what's wrong with your aircraft. Now, this is not a renovation or an upgrade. We're just catching up 20, 30, 40, 50 years of neglect. And once it comes out of the shop, you have got an airworthy aircraft. And we're not saying we're the only shop in the country that can do good work for you. I learned something from every maintenance shop in the country. We're not it. We're just a shop that we want to do quality work. And if we can't do the quality work, there's other good shops that can surely make you happy. We also got an incredible avionics shop. We were in the top 10% in sales last year in avionics sales for Garmin. And we love to do impeccable work. In our avionics shop, we color code our wires. You'll see some of the prettiest installs that you've ever seen. We know how to do the finessing a lot of shops neglect. And we do a radio package sometimes. We can even do your sub panel, your throttle quadrant, your fuel selector panels. Our refurbing overflows from the Lock&Key program to our general maintenance in the shop. This is a Lock&Key Navajo that we refurbished in 2005. This aircraft was on display at AOPA trade show in 2005, and that's the first display we ever did on a trade show. This aircraft was, it's a 2,300-hour total time Chieftain. And this aircraft was at AOPA trade show, and there was a couple that saw an article written about us. And they came to the trade show. They had a deposit on a brand new aircraft. And when they came to the show, they saw this aircraft. I gave them a demo in it, and they withdrew their deposit on this other manufacturer on the new aircraft. And they bought this aircraft, and they flew it 450 hours. And this aircraft in 2005, Larry, sold for $975,000. It appraised and financed for that. And so then there was a bad economy, and this particular person who bought the aircraft struggled a little bit in his business, and he wound up selling the aircraft, and he resold the aircraft in a suppressed economy in 2008. And a gentleman out of Virginia bought the aircraft and kept it for 16 years. I just bought the aircraft back. I was totally shocked. This is a 20-year-old lock and key renovation that we did. And I was really shocked how detailed and how nice the paint, the interior, the whole aircraft. And so we got this aircraft here for sale right now. It appraises for $850,000. But it's not just a paint job, an interior job, but it's an impeccable amount of work that we do to the aircraft. For instance, we'll take the landing gear off the airplane before it even goes to the paint shop. And all the bolts and hardware is replaced in the landing gear. Every separate part of that landing gear is painted separately and reinstalled on the aircraft. So when the aircraft goes to the paint shop, they don't even have to touch the landing gear on a lock and key renovation. Another instance is we take all the doors off the aircraft. The locker doors, the baggage door, the entrance doors, cargo doors. We take all those doors off, we strip them down and refurbish all the edges around the doors, even the entrance airframe of the aircraft. So when it goes to the paint shop, they don't even have to do any refurbing on those areas. They just got to paint it. And then when it comes back to the shop, we put the new seals all around the doors. So it's detailed to the nth degree. It's $150,000 I paid for the last paint job that we had invested, our cost. We spent $125,000 on the last refurb that we did on our lock and key. But that work that we do on the lock and key program, we're really a refurbishment company. And we would like to do other aircraft, other classic aircraft that's went out of production, like a Cessna 210, maybe a Lance. We'd like to do some singles and refurb those aircraft to a lock and key standard. A lock and key is an emblem. When that emblem's on your aircraft, it's going to appraise, it's going to be in Blue Book, VREF, it's going to be able to insure and finance after we get done with the project. Well, it's a classic aircraft that we like to get a hold of that's out of production. Well, eventually some days there'll be other aircraft that go out of production, and we'd like to renovate those to impeccable standards. We actually got 3 customers that showed up at the show today that we did work for. We got a customer here right now that's displaying that brought us a Piper Navajo. He's one of those customers that wants us to find what's wrong, that's been neglected on his Navajo. It's going to be a very expensive annual, very expensive. But once it comes out, he's going to have a quality airworthy aircraft.